She's put into practice her commitment to women, to have that choice to birth in what I call a natural way, which is what I think we've probably had removed from us over the years through lots of medical interventions.
The centre is almost like a home away from home. I think it's really a safe place to have a baby.
For me, the home birth didn't do it for me. I don't know if it was just the fact that I'd just paced around, didn't know which room I'd have it in, or if I felt comfortable enough, or you know, in especially first time mum, you know, I had no idea what to expect. So going somewhere that had people who had the expertise and the knowledge, without the environment of a hospital, that was ideal. That was ideal, because I felt like I wanted to go somewhere, but I didn't know where. And then the birth centre came up and I went, that's it. That's where we want to go.
It's a different group of women. They're actually birthing here. It's not the ardent home birth people who will have a home birth no matter what. It's those people who are a little bit unsure. And then when they do, they go, oh, it can happen outside of a hospital. This is really beautiful.
The Natural Birth Education and Research Centre is structured as a not-for-profit organisation and is situated in northern New South Wales. The centre offers childbirth and doula education, hospital birth support and a wonderful, relaxing postnatal haven where couples can live in for a peaceful, fully catered, nappies washed first week with their new baby.
My role here is the coordinator of the project, and I have had a passion for doing this for something like 28 years or so. And so I've been driven. Every time I've wanted to sort of take a holiday, something else will come along and push me back into it.
Delicious, freshly homemade catering is individually prepared at times that suit the baby's and mother's schedule.
One of the objections that women made about going to hospital was about the food. So I always thought whenever we actually create a centre, we needed to have food that was fresh and similar to the lifestyle of the people who were possibly coming there and the types of food that they ate.
This garden is an organic market garden. The garden has been set up with cooperation with the Natural Birth Centre, and in exchange for access and use of their land, we supply the centre and their clients with healthy, organic, fresh food for all the pregnant mums.
I felt certainly yesterday much more like it's going to happen soon, whereas last week I was like, it's not going to happen soon. Whereas I'm actually getting really excited and and every few hours I'm awake and, you know, have that sort of feeling.
I wasn't going to call that earlier, but I thought the same thing.
The last time you sit down
and have a quiet meal.
and waiting quiet meal without bopping up and down.
The centre offers a weekly follow-up process, a support group called Mums and Bubs. Here, new mums with their babies can get together to share experiences, ask questions and catch up with their friends.
He's doing, you know, like he's kind of...
She had a nice sleep then.
About 20 minutes.
That's normal.
Yeah, okay. That's all I need to hear. Yeah, not these people that say they should be sleeping this long and feed this regularly.
Babies sleep inside you for about 20 minutes, in 20-minute cycles, all the way through your pregnancy. And when they come out, they still do those cycles, and it takes them quite a while to learn how to sleep for longer than that.
In my classes we talk a lot about how men can support in labour. They feel at a loss as to how they can help women often, and sometimes they need to learn to do nothing.
People who have to go back to work, people who have to then come home and cook meals, and also...
It helps them to understand how the brain works, how the neocortex works in the primal brain, and how it's the primal brain that we need to get back to.
I've always thought I was a non-political person, and I always resisted being out there in the front line and doing all of that type of stuff. I preferred to help women have their babies. However, someone said to me in the early 80s when I first started doing home births, how can you say you're not political when you're doing home births? I thought, okay, I better face up to the fact that I'm doing political stuff here.
Gentlemen, if we could have your attention, please. My name is Philip Steele. I'm a local obstetrician and a founder member of the board for the Natural Birth Education and Research Centre. On behalf of the Centre, I'd like to welcome you with open arms to our first ever conference. We're delighted to have you here, of course.
The Centre proudly boasts a collaborative clinical, emotional and spiritual focus, where a calm and seamless working relationship exists between the Centre, Dr. Phil Steele and local hospital should the need arise to transfer.
Well, I arrived here in '86, and for the first sort of 6 or 7 years there was no particular liaison between out-of-hospital birth practitioners and in hospital. In fact, there was often a lot of angst. People being transferred in from home birth arrangements were often, very distressed. People weren't really being briefed about the potential need to come into hospital. I thought we as hospital practitioners weren't really extending a great welcome. So there was a tension in the air between the treating hospital staff and the people, not only the couple coming in, but also their carers.
In the event of a hospital transfer, this close working relationship with Dr. Steele enables a smoother transition to the labour ward for both midwives and labouring women, should the need arise to transfer.
I don't look at it, as a failure that we went to the hospital. And some people have got the attitude toward us of being, so you didn't get your natural birth in the end. Oh, really, what a shame. But I feel that we did get our natural birth because we got what we needed.
This model demonstrates that it's better to be cooperative and collaborative. The outcomes are better for all concerned, not only in physical terms but in emotional terms. So, it'll be just nice to think that this sort of collaborative approach could be more broadly applied.
I get a lot of joy out of working with women, and no matter how many times I've done it, and I've been working as a midwife since 1975, I always feel, I always feel there is a miracle when a woman has a baby. It doesn't matter how many times I'm there with a woman when she has a baby, it's always so magic when that baby comes out, whether that baby comes out on someone's lounge room floor or in a hospital, and it doesn't matter who's there when the woman has the baby. It's like she's had a baby and she brings her baby up, and it's magic.
Once you find out there are choices, like Hilly was saying about the birth centre and other ways of doing it, and you sort of educate yourself, you weigh up the options and you find out what they're actually about, and then you can make a choice. And that's the important thing, actually having a choice.
I stayed for about a week with Jessie after we gave birth up in the cottage, and it was just so peaceful and just beautiful. I can't say enough good things about the place. It was such a really good way to set up to start motherhood again, the second time round. It was like having a little holiday and a really special time to get to know Jessie.
The thing about coming home here in all the recovery and everything would have been, I know what I'm like and probably many other women, you sit there, you'd be breastfeeding but you'd be going, right, I've got to do that and got to do that, and oh yes, look at the dust, or oh gosh, I've got to do another load of washing, or how am I going to get to the supermarket to get the food, and oh look, there's 10 more visitors coming through the door and I've got nothing for lunch and I'm not dressed. But there, I didn't care. It all just went out the window. Somebody else was doing that. Somebody else had their finger on that. It wasn't my floor to sweep. It wasn't my my lunch to cook. It was there. It was done, and it's just how it should be. It's as simple as that. It's how it should be.